me know when to press record.
All right, let's get it.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the TimeOut podcast with Ollie and Vens. Today is a very special day. We got a special guest. Vens'
Yes,
older brother,
sir.
Ludney, is joining us today.
Hey,
We're gonna talk a
Big
lot
Brooklyn Nets fan.
shame, but I can't really talk today, so we got a lot to get through, a lot of sports to catch up on, a lot of news to break down. We thank you guys for sticking with us. For all this time. First episode of the new year. Big shout out to that.
yeah,
Yes,
Um,
sir.
if you
125.
have any ideas, comments, concerns, drop them down in the comment section below. Share with your friends, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff.
All right, let's get it. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Yes. Bonani, bonani, bonani.
Yeah. So what we're starting with, Ali, we're starting with there's not a lot of soccer to unpack. I just have like a quick rant for
Yeah.
Vinicius.
Please start off with the rants.
Yes. So we need Vinicius to start acting like a soccer player and stop acting like a spoiled brat on the field. 'Cause he got a red card for hitting a goalkeeper, like try to choke the guy out, only because the guy like kind of lift him up and told him to keep playing football. Like, bro, you're 20, 24, about to be 25. Like it's time now to stop to leave the baby stuff out of the way and start playing football. They don't pay you millions to fight. And yo, mind you, he got the red card and he kept cursing at the referee. I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy. You're like a millionaire, but with the right investment, might be billionaire playing soccer, and you're acting like a MMA junkie on the field. Like, what's going on,
Wait,
bro?
real quick. I'm the basketball guy here. I'm not the biggest soccer guy, other
Soccer
than
guy, yeah.
accordingly, right? But I'm just gonna put 2 cents in here. You tell me what you think. Isn't
hmm
drama good in any event? Like, is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this like
Let me tell
hockey?
you,
We're gonna have that type of drama in the sport and more eyes on
drama,
the sport, or like what? I mean, soccer is the most popular sport in the world, but I'm just saying, does the drama benefit in any sort of way?
drama is always good. It brings eyes to the sport, but it's not good for me as a fan watching my team being down 1-0 and my star
Mm,
player getting a red card. Although
mm,
we won that game, but it wasn't
mhm.
good for my mental at the time.
Yeah.
Right. Not what you want your star
But
player doing.
this is all because this is like the same story keeping on repeating itself again and
Okay,
again with
got you.
Vinicius. Brazil got I'm gonna say it cost Brazil the Copa America, but he got a
He
red
did.
card at a costly game
He
and he
did.
did not play on an
He did.
elimination game. So see all is like he did, but I don't want to put that on one player. It's a 11 player sport,
Yeah.
so but my thing is, I understand certain things when you were 18, when you were 19, 20, but at 25, bro, you don't live enough to see like, yo, this is not the way to go about certain things. Especially
Right.
when I'm in conversation for like the greatest award, like I'm in conversations for the Ballon d'Or that I did not win because they say it's because of my attitude on the field. So now you're giving people argument to say like, yeah, Rodri deserves that Ballon d'Or over you. Like this is ridiculous, man. I think he needs to do better.
I'm gonna give
That's
you a whole
all.
other set of pushback, right? Like just random pushback, right?
Go ahead.
24. In real life, and me in your life, 24 is 24. You're right. You're a grown man. I don't want to curse. I
Yeah,
would say you're a grown ass man. But you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it's
At
fine.
this point, right?
Yeah.
24 in his walk of life, being the star at every level in the world stage.
hmm
Are these athletes mature at 24? Like, is that a real thing? Because I know in the NBA they probably not. You know what I'm saying? Like, are
Um,
these people in real life mature? Are they real life mature? Like, they don't even have a grasp of reality at 24 in that path of life.
this
They're
is this is
probably
the
still like 18-year-olds in a sense, like still living
mhm.
that like high school popular life. I get what I
Yeah.
want, entitled. You know what I'm saying? So are
hmm
athletes mature who get paid, bajillions of dollars? Are they
Yeah.
mature at 24?
This is a very good question and a very good debate.
I don't think there is a
I
debate. I think
was
they're not.
well, you think they're not, and I'm inclined to agree with you. Only thing I must say in that is As I was growing up, obviously we Haitian. We were raised in the Haitian culture. You probably heard your mom, grandma say that. Same with your Ali. They always told me that if you're old enough to have a kid, you're old enough to have certain mindset and responsibility to care for that kid. Vinicius has two kids.
Oh, I
He
like
probably
that.
cares for them. Like I don't want to get into the whole like because
I'm not
there's
saying care. Well, maybe caring is saying
Mm.
financially. I'm talking about raising said kids.
yeah,
Like
that's what I'm
I
saying.
don't have
Raising.
kids. I don't have any kids. Ludney is the only father on the pod right now. Well, I
I
don't
give you
know,
that
Ollie,
as a
if you have
good.
any kids
No,
that
no,
you're
no,
not
no, no,
claiming.
no.
I'm not the hey, I'm not the authority, you know what I'm saying? You learn as you go when it comes to, fatherhood and all that stuff. But I
Yeah,
would say that's a good rebuttal to that pushback. I still think when you walk that path of life, it's bizarro land, bro. Like
it
Mhm.
is.
Michael
It is.
Jackson had kids and he was weird. You know what I'm
Man,
saying? Like they're not living a normal life, bro. Like
they're
they
not.
are they are treated. How are you treated when you're that guy
Yeah,
anywhere?
yeah.
Normal? You
Well,
know what I'm saying?
especially
Like they don't
being a
got a
star
grasp.
player,
Yeah,
being a star for Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world, being
like
a star
who's
for
who's giving it?
Brazil.
He's the he's set up for entitlement. Who's giving him reality? Like it would be he would be a special person to be normal at
He
that age
is.
of that treatment.
So we were talking. I have a soccer group chat with a couple of friends. One of them is like we were raised together, so we're like brother. We live in the same house for the longest. So I was telling him because my brother was like, I'm done with him. I'm done with Vinicius. He's not gonna change and all that. So I was like, bro, listen. When he was 18, and one thing is dealing a lot with over there is a lot of racism.
Yeah,
So there were rumors, well, there were stories like press conferences about him seeing a therapist for him to be able to deal with those journalists, with those racism chant with people throwing banana at him on the field
not normal,
and
bro.
things like that.
Yeah,
So I think he still has that trauma. And remember, Ollie, we were going about him not winning the Ballon d'Or, and one of my friends had commented that she doesn't agree with us because he's been dealing with racism, so he has the right to push back on the field and things like that. So this is the very if we go down that road, this is a very sensitive topic. I can see like why it will act like that, being like he kind of fell in the box and didn't get the penalty and a white man kind of tell him get up and play soccer, so he felt like you have no right to touch me or whatever. But in my mind, I'm like, you if you stop seeing that therapist, you should keep going because one thing us as Haitian and men, Haitian men per se, we don't deal enough with our traumas and we don't like going to therapy. Like I'm one of the guys. Listen, I was raised by a father that like military style men. This guy tell me men don't cry, you know.
right.
So until like oh, I was around 25, 26. That's when I started talking to people. Like I have a couple of friends that are therapists and told me like you need to talk to people. So that's when you realize that a whole new world ahead of you. You know,
Like a whole
it's
different
like
mindset.
yeah, you unlock a box and you see a lot of things. So I feel
And
like
notice what you said. You said at 24, 25. That's where he's at right
Ah,
now.
Ali, you.
yeah, but he was saying that people that therapist before 24, 25. He
But that's the
was.
thing, though. You
But you
gotta
said it
get.
took
It's
you to
not like
that
a.
point to actually
It's not
start
a.
putting
It's
it
not a. It's not
together.
a quick fix. It's not a
Yeah,
quick fix.
I'm not saying
You gotta
it's a
understand where
quick.
he came from too. This is like you're giving a Brazilian kid the world because of his talent, and you're being like, here, the same personality that you criticize him for is the personality that got him to where he was at on top of the talent. So
that's
it's like
facts too.
Yeah,
so
but one thing though, I understand where what you're saying, Ali, especially where he's from, because those guys who play soccer in Brazil, they
they're
are from
different.
what we call here the ghetto. Over there, they
They're
call it
different.
favela.
They're
So
different.
yeah, they have a different mindset. And I was talking to Angie about that last night because we were watching quick detour. We were watching a show on Netflix called Supercell, and one of those guys was like, he got arrested with a guy that was holding drugs in his car. He just got a ride. He did not know there was drugs in the car. But when they asked the guy if the drugs were his, the guy said no. But when they asked him, he said, I'm no snitch. I'm not gonna tell you where the drugs are from. And Angie got pissed. She was like, "What? You're not gonna snitch? You just got a ride?" I'm like, listen. you were raised in a middle class household by people that sheltered you from the real world. I was raised like that too, but I chose to break out of that and go into school. I had friends from different areas, so I know how people from the ghetto think. And I'm like, snitching is like a death
You don't
sentence
do it.
over there. So
You don't
no,
do it.
doesn't matter if the guy said the drugs were not mine. She's like, yeah, but he snitched first. I'm like, okay, he can be portrayed as what we call I mean, I'm a curse. He can be portrayed as a bitch, but him is like, yo, I'm not gonna be that guy. I'm not gonna snitch. I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
That's his code of ethics. So I understand when you say like you give that Brazilian kid millions and things, so he will
Because it's
always
the same thing that happened with
react that
Neymar
way.
too. Like, not to, it's the same thing
It's a
that
repeat.
like we've seen this before with players from a certain area
It
and
is
we
a repeat.
know all the talent at him. They're like we talk about Neymar not reaching his full potential. Part of that is his personality and him
Hmm. Hmm.
choosing to do certain things in pursuit of a different type of career. You're watching the same thing happening with Vinicius.
It is a
Whether or not
repeat.
he chooses to change, that's up to him. But like you said, 24, 25, he's at that point where he can make that decision for himself. And I
I
don't
hope he
want to
does.
like how he raises his kids because like how you
Well,
are on the
that
field
has no
as a
business
pitch
with
is
us. So
completely different from how you are at home when
yeah,
like kids and family is involved. Like that could be his
yeah,
safe space, and then on the pitch or on the field, he can't be allowed to go back to that safe space because you have to be competitive. You're a white
yeah,
real
and that might be
world
competition
class
for
team
him,
over on
like
the
being
field.
that. Hmm.
Yeah. When Ali says that, that's one thing I do think is a cool, like, it's a really interesting aspect of all of it, right? Like who you gotta be to be the person that you are, right? Like most successful people, I've been telling this to a lot of people. Some, when I was managing a sales team, coaching a sales team and that type of stuff, I tell people this all the time. What I've noticed in life is that most people who are successful, they have to be
Hmm.
like manic at something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
like the person at top of the totem pole and whatever
Hmm.
space or field that you're assessing or that you want to um, level up in. A lot of
Hmm.
times, the person at the top of that totem pole is you would describe him as, yo, that dude's crazy. Like that dude's, you know what I'm saying? Or that person is,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, intense. Like that dude is, you know what I'm saying? But that
Hmm.
mania, is something that you develop and I think some players have a way of controlling that and using that on the field of play and tapping into it. Some people it's just who they are all the time, and those people could be very problematic in different spaces where that mania isn't useful, right? And then some
Yeah,
people, they don't got like the control. See, it just they could flip into it, they could flip out of it, or some people just don't got it. Like you just don't have that dog in you. You know what I'm saying? And in basketball, you say, "Hey, that person got a dog in him." You know what I'm saying? Like
hmm,
sometimes you just don't have that in your DNA. So to me, that's interesting when players, whether it's a technical foul in basketball, red card, in hockey, I feel like they let
Yeah,
you
let's
have
do
it
it.
out. You know what I'm saying? Like they let that dog, we let the dogs play because we know you got to be a dog on that
They throw you
rink.
in the penalty box afterwards, but
Yeah, yeah, we'll put you in to cool off, but we're gonna let the dogs bark it out. And
yeah.
then
Fight like
what I'm saying?
get that moment.
Sometimes I wish we could do a little bit of that in some other sports. You know what I'm saying? I think it's kind of cool. That's why to go back to what I was saying before. I'm like, isn't that stuff kind of cool? The drama of it, knowing that they're that passionate about what they're doing. I find that kind of cool personally. But
It
I
is.
know it's wrong in regular societal terms.
Let me tell you. I mean, at the end of the day, those are men playing a
Right.
sport, and everybody wants to be the best at that. Everybody wants to be the best at, regarding of your position or whatever. So there are always gonna be ego flaring. There are always gonna be fights. The only thing is, I don't mind a guy fighting. I don't mind a guy tackling hard. Avoid getting that red card that's gonna
Right.
cost your teammates. That's
The
all. That's
strategy of the
all I
game.
can
Yeah.
say. But sometimes I understand that emotions are high, and it's a difficult thing to do. So
hey, at least y'all
uh,
won the game.
yeah, we did. We
Right.
did. Modric and Bellingham scored. That was hard. We did not win until the 96th minute. So yeah.
That's a great game. In my opinion, that's a great game. You know,
Oh yeah, it is. It
good
is.
soccer game
But
right here.
as a fan watching, you like, oh my God, what's going on here? I'd rather watch Barcelona suffer like that. But we, all you good?
What?
No, is it frozen or is he angry that I said Barcelona? I'd rather watch Barcelona, something like that.
I am. He's in. He's. I don't know what topic he's gonna touch on next.
Oh, next is basketball. We're going to basketball and we're going to talk a little bit about Schroeder, the Golden State.
Oh, thank God! Thank
Yo, you good, Ali? I think I have a bad connection here.
move, do something.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're good.
you're
We're
looking
good.
very statuish right now.
Yeah, I think we're good now.
Okay. Yeah, we're good.
So, Ali, Schroeder to Golden State. What's going on?
It's too soon. It's too soon. Right now, Golden State is getting carried by Stephen Curry's greatness.
It's been
Um,
2 weeks, man.
it's no, still too soon because that team sucks. Golden State is not a good team. They're not good. They're
Facts.
not good. I know, and this is
Ah,
like a far cry from what I was talking about when the trade first got announced. Like, oh, he'll be able to help the team in the ball movement and this, that, and the third. They're not good. They're just not
so,
good.
okay, I'm gonna ask the Nets fan on the pod. Are you happy you got rid of Schroeder, or are you sad you chose Ben Simmons over
Listen,
Schroeder?
man, we got a long-term vision, right? Let me start by saying that when it comes to the Nets, we're not talking about today. We're not talking about this season. We're probably more so talking about next season, not even being so much of a winning season, but having a roster that can start building and being the foundation for maybe another good team post Durant, post Harden, post Kyrie Irving. So I say all that to say Schroeder was there just to showcase his skills so that we can, leverage up and get some assets back, bro.
Yes,
That's
yes,
all. You know what I'm saying?
get
When it comes
Zillow
to the
back.
Nets, yeah, when it comes to the Nets, we're the biggest stage. You know what I'm saying? Come play for the
Mm.
Nets, show off what you can do, build your value up. We're gonna trade you, and we're gonna hopefully get come to grips with building a real team, within the next 2 years. I think we're tanking for the flag right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing right.
Yeah, I
We're in the tank
mean,
mode, aka rebuild, but they don't like to say tank,
how's
aka rebuild.
is it gonna be? I mean, I see Wemby flashes of greatness. If he keeps going, only thing I'm worried about Wemby is his size is too small, man. I'm
Yeah.
scared every time. I'm scared he will break in half every time on the field. But is Flag gonna be that that guy? Is he?
Listen, man. So if the Nets get flagged, let me just say this about Wemby. Wemby, what you just said is the same thing they said about Kevin Durant, who I heard never bench presses, right? So, like, so
Interesting.
Not
so
really.
so Kevin Durant um developed a game that he didn't need the girth and the size, right?
Hmm.
Wemby, I think he needs it more than Kevin Durant, but he's also figuring out what his NBA game is going to look like. And I think well, I don't have to think. He has millions of dollars behind him. And I think he's very coachable. He doesn't come with the American player ego, where I think they're going to figure out what his game is
Hmm.
and supplement his workouts to give him the durability or the ability to do it. Because if he gets too bulky, the reason why Kevin Durant never wanted to bench press, he said it would mess up his shot, right? I could tell you personally, the day I got in the gym, my basketball efficiency was down. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? First of all, I didn't play hoops as much. I'm just kidding with that. But like I know that like me lifting a lot in the gym and getting a little bit bigger and thicker,
Hmm.
it threw off like any type of like finesse game that I had. And so I could attest to Kevin Durant's theory and not wanting to hit the gym too hard because he's a finesse player. Wemby Wemby's gonna find his game, and I think he's gonna get the right coaching, and I think he's gonna follow that coaching, and he's gonna excel at it. Honestly, back to Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag. I don't know too much about Cooper Flag outside of that pickup game, and obviously what he's doing at Duke right now. But that pickup game when he played against NBA players, and I think what was he, 17 years old or something crazy,
Yeah.
right?
Let's see.
Bro,
Hmm.
if you got the balls to hang and just like go out there and go on attack at 17, you
Hmm.
got a certain person that back to what I was talking about in terms of that mania, that personality. Like, it seems
Hmm.
like the kid got a dog in him. You know what I'm saying? And if
Hmm.
he has a dog in him and he's coachable and he's taking these expectations and the criticisms and all that stuff positively and using that as fuel, he's gonna be good. Now, how good could he be? I don't know, but I think he's gonna
Well,
be good.
Well, I mean, for any athletes, I believe sky's the limit. You just got to put in the work, even if you have or don't have talent. Because I don't know who was it that said hard works out talent every day of the week. So
Right.
I mean, I will hope that he has the work ethics to put behind his talent and he can get to that point in the league. Because I would not like to see a repeat of Greg Oden. That was a very, very sad case. But
You're going too far back, bro. We got one more recent.
yeah, your player.
We got a
No,
lot
well,
of
he's my player on fantasy, Zion Williamson.
yeah,
Oh, I
Zion.
thought you were talking about Ben Simmons. Oh yeah,
Oh, Ben
Zion.
No,
Simmons?
we
No,
can go
Ben Simmons,
Zion,
he peaked and
Simmons.
he climaxed and disappeared really fast. He was really good when he was good. You know what I'm saying? I think people will forget that. He was really good when he was good, but
He
he got
wasn't. He was in the first couple of years. Yes, he was. He
yeah,
was.
he was really good. The people figured him out. They figured out his trick. He scared
Zion.
the shoot.
Zion. We had a discussion about Zion, Ali and I, in a few past episodes, but. Zion, I believe Zion can drop a few pounds. He can get to that greatness that he had
I
once.
mean, Zion can. I don't think the thing is, do you believe he can drop a few pounds, drop enough pounds?
Yo,
I
they
think
they
that's the thing with
say
him.
they say this guy lives on fast food. I don't know, man, but
I don't know if I believe he does that, but I mean, because I don't know, bro. He's just a
but
big guy. Like, how many, okay, how realistic is it that he can lose 30 pounds and keep 30 pounds off? How realistic is that for a
I say
person
no. He's
with his
playing the
build?
wrong
Like,
sport.
he's just playing the wrong sport. Like,
That's
at
a
the end of the
ball
day,
player. That's a running back.
but
exactly.
one thing is like our people say older Haitian people say Zion goes up.
Well,
He's big, so
yeah, he's meant to be about where he's at. You know what I'm saying? And if he was playing
I don't think Zion
football,
is
it'd be more
gonna.
useful. You know, and he wouldn't
Yeah.
get hurt as much if he was playing football. Honestly, I don't think he would get hurt as much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
So we are gonna touch up a topic that I always wanted to discuss with my brother up there, Ludney. We're gonna talk about expansion.
yep.
So on the first episode, we discussed well, my question was why Connecticut doesn't have a team, and I immediately thought about Ludney because that's where he lives and is pretty big in the community. So the floor is yours, Ludney. You can talk. Um, like how you feel, like what do you feel about like at the NBA expanding? I mean, how do you think that can happen? Like what do you think will need to be adjusted? I mean, if you were a commissioner, how will you go about it basically?
So, I mean, so that's framing it that way. There's a lot to think about there. In terms of being a commissioner and that type of thing. Give me one
Mhm.
second. I want to make sure my power is Hold on one
No,
second.
it's okay.
Trying to make sure my laptop doesn't die here. All right. So just to reset, to go back to it. Okay, so if I was commissioner, what would I do? Obviously, the NBA, I think, should expand. I think expansion is good, and you want to do it in a healthy way. Um, you want every move you make to be successful or perceived
Hmm.
successful or worth it, right? Every time, because from a marketing standpoint, from a brand standpoint, you don't want the NBA to fail at anything. You just want everything to just be like, yep, they added this, this was great. Um, so there's that. Um, I think if I was commissioner, I would go into the numbers, right? Like numbers matter, right?
Hmm.
What are the biggest markets for my product that I am not existing in the way that a team would exist as far as an arena, as far as like a crowd, a fan base, that pays attention and all that stuff. And when we brought up this topic and said we might be talking about this, I did a little bit of research and looking at, what Connecticut looks like in regards to that. So I
Hmm.
didn't find anything too crazy clear in terms of like big fandom, but I did find this one stat, and I should just pull it up and read it. But it says something to the nature of we're the 10th out of like 57 markets of
Hmm.
people who watch the NBA, bases that watch the NBA, we're the 10th most active or the 10th most large, right?
Hmm.
I was actually surprised by that. I was like, wow,
Wow.
that's pretty strong. You know what I'm saying? Um, but when I really thought about it, I'm like, okay, the Northeast is a pretty dense area, right? You got New
Hmm.
York, you got Boston. These are, world class cities, right? And then you got all the people that kind of gravitate around it, right? That orbit around that. And that's what Connecticut is pretty much comprised of, right? Like half of Connecticut is basically New York. You know what I'm saying? The other half is rooting for the Patriots, right? We're literally split between the Yankees and the Sox, you know what I'm saying, out here, right? So there's that, right? Now to add a little bit more legitimacy to Connecticut, we had the Hartford Whalers. That was our last, professional team who moved to North Carolina. So there was a big enough population here that was interested in hockey that served a professional NHL team. And,
Hmm.
it moved so that and technically it failed, but it did exist out here. So there is a base out here. So those are the things I consider if I'm a commissioner, just where the fan bases rank, where the empty markets are. I'll tell you, Las Vegas is a dead ringer for one. You know what I'm saying? It has to be Vegas has to have a team. Another place, Seattle, is going to be ranked ahead of Connecticut. You know what I'm saying? For sure. So I could probably, in theory, if I just went by that last stat I mentioned, we're the 10th biggest like base, and that's Hartford Springfield, right? Which is an Easter egg for what I'm about to say next. Um, Hartford Springfield, 10th biggest fan base. That means there's nine other markets by numbers
Now ahead of us,
that
ahead
are
of you.
ahead of us, right? Are they going to expand nine teams? I
No.
mean, how many
Nah,
teams
I
are we
don't think
really?
that would be too
You
big. That would be too big.
you know what I'm saying? How much
That'd be too
expansion
big.
we're really talking? You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
so the chances are out there. Now, I don't think it's so. The chances are not really there, but I will speak to it as if like what would be a viable way, and I didn't think there was a viable way. Preparation for this conversation actually pleasantly made me surprised. There's actually viable talks at putting Connecticut's name in the hat, right?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So there's this group out of New York named the Blair Group, and
Hmm.
they have a fully fleshed out plan to bring a pro team to Hartford Springfield area. Notice I'm saying Hartford Springfield, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
You guys familiar with Springfield?
Not Springfield, but I'm familiar with Hartford.
All right. What state is Springfield in?
Mass.
In
Yeah.
Mass. What's Springfield known for?
Baseball.
Baseball? Uh,
Baseball.
How
Something.
about
I don't
baseball?
know.
No, you
Baseball.
think about, I think it might be thinking about Springfield, Ohio.
Um,
I'm
might
not
be.
sure. I'm not sure. I don't
I
even
think
know where
Springfield,
Springfield is.
Mass. I
So,
think. I think for some reason I hear Springfield, Mass. I think I hear Red Sox baseball.
Facts. Yeah, because of mass, right? So Springfield and Hartford are about 95 miles away from New York, 95 miles away from Boston. We're equidistant away from the
okay.
two biggest cities. So we'd be the farthest point where you can get exposure to a fan base, right?
Hmm.
Springfield, Massachusetts is where the Basketball Hall of Fame is,
Oh, okay.
right? Why
Okay.
is the
Yeah.
Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts? I've been there. It's a pretty cool building. It's
Hmm.
where basketball was invented, right?
Well, what was invented?
Basketball
Basketball.
was
Oh,
invented in
basketball.
Springfield, Massachusetts. So here I'm here in the Hartford area. I'm literally 30 miles away from where basketball was originally invented and where the Basketball Hall of Fame is, right?
Hmm.
And there's already an MGM casino built there. There's the Basketball Hall of Fame. They're all almost like walking proximity from each other. Springfield's downtown's a little bit more robust than Hartford's, I would say for sure. But the Blair Group is proposing a twin city or cousin city team, and they actually have a name for the team, which I think is super interesting. Their proposal names the team the New England Founders. So you know how you have the New England Patriots that actually
Uh,
plays out of Boston? You
Ew.
guys don't like that, huh?
I see where I see the creativeness behind it, but I don't think it's marketable.
yeah, the New England Founders don't really got that. Sounds like a what's that sound like to you? That's
Bro, I don't think that I will.
Ew.
It's like you know before, for example, when Washington football team lost the Redskin thing, they did not want to be called up. They went for the longest by Washington football team. I was like,
yeah,
this is
that was a
stupid.
long run, right? The
So
Washington
it's like the
football.
same thing, man. Only check your phone. That was the same. It's like the same thing for me.
Yeah, it just has this weird vibe to it. Yeah, I think they got
Yeah.
to work on the name. I think they got to work on the name. But I like the fact that they're basing it on New England, not just
Not,
Connecticut. You don't like
New
that,
England
Ali?
Uh,
teams. I'm anti New England everything.
yeah. So by default, I'm like a
Are we looking at it from
anti
a business
funders.
lens, or are we talking about from like a fan space lens?
Purely fan. I
Right.
Yeah, purely fan, purely fan.
purely fan. No. Founders, what did you found?
We
Nothing.
found, hey, I can't
No.
say we
They
because it only
founded
exists.
basketball.
They founded basketball. You
No.
know what I'm saying?
If I'm commissioner, I'm making sure that team is like losing everything. I don't want that team to succeed. That's
So
why I'm
Ali,
like
how will you go? How will you go about expanding?
about what's expanding. I'm expanding to Vancouver because I feel like Toronto can't be the only team in Canada.
Yeah,
So that'd be cool. I'm
because they had a
avoiding
team
Vegas.
before, right?
Yep,
Okay.
I'm
Ti
avoiding Vegas.
well, pun intended. Time out here. I'm always anti Toronto or Canada having a league and an American league because why Mexico doesn't have a team?
Well,
Why only
listen.
Canada has a team?
So let me shed some
That's
light on this, right? The true on the board teams are Vegas, Montreal, Vancouver, Mexico City. Those are actually on the
Hmm.
board
Okay,
from my
okay. So
research, right?
I mean,
So, you take those, nine other market areas that are ahead in terms of fandom, but then you got to add the international aspects. So what the NBA want to do is go international. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
There's talks,
if we go in,
within
let's
20
go.
years, you're probably gonna see some type of professional league out of Africa. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
there
So
already is one.
like,
There's
I mean,
a
there is one,
subsidiary
yeah.
league
But
that
is
the
it an
NBA.
NBA? Is it an NBA league?
It's NBA partnered. They
Okay,
had a they had a couple players from that league enter the draft this year. I think an 18-year-old kid was drafted in the second round
that's
from that
fire.
league. So they
Okay.
have the infrastructure in place specifically in Africa. I'm pretty sure Luol Deng owns a team in that league too.
Yeah, I know Obama was like part
Oh,
of
from the millions he made from the Lakers.
Yeah, from the Lakers, all the money he stole from the Lakers, it went to something positive, you know. So, and then the NBA is also in talks with with the Euro League, looking to expand that way. What we were talking about episodes prior about them kind of doing
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Adam
yeah.
Silver is actually looking into that, which is great.
So,
Even though
my
he's
point
got
is, I
some,
think the NBA is gonna favor if those are on the board. I think those have favor. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
those have more favor than
Yeah, because
Connecticut.
like, what am I doing building a team, another team in the Northeast? Though it can add to the whole balance of the, if you do one in Vegas, you're gonna need one out in the East and all that other stuff. But
Hmm.
again, with the way the world is going so globalized, the way the NBA has been behaving, the pattern suggests that I think a Canada team is more likely.
Hmm
Vegas for
Hmm.
sure if it's going to be domestic.
hmm
And then I actually like the idea of a Mexico City team. I like the idea of anything outside of the U.S. Because again, the NBA needs that for its brand. I think it does.
Yeah,
Now,
I mean,
speaking of the Northeast, um, we got the Pistons, a team that I'm always going to be happy about because in the very first episode, I was like, look out for the Pistons. It could
Yeah.
this
be
guy,
good.
man.
It could happen there. And
This
every time
guy.
they prove me right, every
Yeah.
time they prove me right, they went
Yo,
against Minnesota last night and they stopped a 53-point performance from Anthony Edwards. Cade Cunningham is an all-star this year.
There you go.
I'm Cade Cunningham is an all-star this year. If I
this
see Bam out of bio in the all-star game and Cade Cunningham is at home, I will flip. I will
Wow.
flip.
uh,
I've never been so happy for a team that I don't actively root for.
Really, the Pistons? You rolling with
Oh,
them?
we
Really,
know.
really.
My DM knows.
Yeah, the Pistons they're rolling right now. We talked about them having a losing culture for so long, but it wasn't always that way. It's just
Right.
they're
Well,
this is the Pistons returning to form. They have a new culture. They have a star player in Cade Cunningham. They got good young guys, good
Hey,
vets.
hey, 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 this is my Nets in 3 years. I'm just want
is
y'all
it?
that.
3 years is
Well,
kind of you.
I would love that for you, bro. You've been suffering too long. I would love that for you.
We were hot what 4 years ago. So, it's just, it's cyclical.
What?
I
Why are
think
you really hot?
I
Bro,
think
you
the
had
mistake they
KD,
made was
that's it.
yeah, you guys sacrificed depth for star power, which
Yeah,
I think was a move motivated more by financial reasons
yeah,
than championship winning
right.
aspirations,
Aspect, yeah.
and that's what ruined y'all. I mean, it was your foundation as a team, to be honest with you. So technically, you guys really didn't deviate too much.
Listen, man, the only thing, if I was to oversimplify it, the only thing that ruined us was COVID, in my
I
opinion.
can't say all that.
Um,
It was flawed since
I
the
agree with you
founding.
there because without COVID, Kyrie don't go all
Exactly.
I don't
That's
wanna say like all back home, like become like that spiritual type of guy and then mess
he
it up
always
for
was that,
you.
but I
He
think I
always
think
was that.
it boiled down to the team never got to play together and develop like chemistry and had way more obstacles to deal with than they were ready for psychologically,
Y'all
like
had
Hmm.
on an
Steve
off the
Nash as the
court
head.
macro. What was that, Ali?
Y'all had Steve Nash as a head coach.
Well, that right there was just blatant buffoonery. But they should have left. I mean, look at the Cavs coach. Was it Kenny Atkins? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that was our coach that they let go of for Steve Nash, if I remember correctly. So,
Yeah.
This is
bro,
this
that
is a
guy,
very surprising team that the Cavs, but
the Cavs are
go ahead.
great team. But that's one of the main reasons the Cavs are what they are is because their center who was a former net, right? Because of their coach who is a former net, right? So, bro, all we do is catch these people, they showcase their potential, and then we mess it up. We sell it out
Out of the
way too
door.
early. You know what I'm
And I
saying? And
hope
then and then
Detroit
and
does
then
not follow your
unfortunately,
example.
but
Keep succeeding, Detroit. Keep doing well, Detroit.
yeah, yeah. Not to
Go
make
out
it
to
yeah,
the
not to make
okay,
it a
man.
Nets thing,
The
but I
young
think
people.
Detroit is finally coming around, and I think that's what happens with these teams. Because Detroit's a real city, man. It deserves, you know what I'm saying? It deserves a good team. Brooklyn's a good
Deserves a
city.
good
It
Yo,
team.
deserves a good team. You know what I'm
they
saying?
they rolling this year.
Yeah,
Their
Roll.
Pistons are good. The Lions are good. I don't know much about hockey, but I know I'm rooting for the Lions right now because my Niners are not in the playoffs, so I want
You have
the
the truth.
Lions to go all the way.
mm,
Hey,
So, but let me ask you this, Ollie,
Miami
since you're
goes
so high
down.
on the Pistons. Let me ask you this. Is it too early or too soon to say like 20 years later we can compare that 2024 Pistons to that 2004 Pistons a little bit? I mean, I know like comparison is a thief of joy. Like we don't usually like to compare old and new players, but
Mm-mm.
is it like for an OG watching like can the OG say, "Yo, I remember in 2004 when my team was good. Like Ben Wallace was playing like this guy.
Mm-mm.
Rashid
Chauncey
was
Billups.
doing this and."
Mm-mm.
Hmm?
Mm-mm. You don't have the. It's not the same. It's not the same people, personnel, or era to make that
Okay, and
case.
it's not the same style of basketball, too, right?
No, no.
Okay.
The closest thing
So
I'll
are
probably
they
give you is Chauncey Billups and Kay Cunningham
can
from like a
okay.
personality standpoint, not style of play, but just like the way they carry themselves. I'll
Yeah,
leave it at
Another
I agree. I
thing,
think I think the Pistons, like if you were to pick a team that represented like the last breath of like 80s physical basketball, it'd probably be
Bad
that
Boys,
Pistons team. Like they embodied like the last breath of
the Bad
whatever was
Boys
left over. They
Pistons.
were like the last team that carried over a little bit of that energy, and then like the whole energy switched.
that.
You know what I'm saying? Like the whole game switched up after the Pistons
After
became
the Pistons, yeah.
that was
And
that was the last one.
another thing for your Pistons, are they getting rid of Tobias or
Um,
no? The- I- I- do you hear rumors? Because I haven't heard anything. And
I don't know what team wants him, but knowing Miami Heat, they'll probably find a way to make us worse. And make a trade involving him, Jimmy Butler, and another team that nobody's thinking of right now.
Hmm.
Because in my opinion, Tobias is hurting that team a little bit.
And well, I can't really say because we talk about teams needing veteran presence and just needing. Sometimes you need guys like a Tobias Harris just for your locker room. So he
Okay.
might not be playing. He might not be playing well on the court, but you
On the
need your
court,
Tobias
but off the court,
Harris,
okay.
your Jared Dudleys, your Richard Jeffersons. You need them in the locker room just to kind of just, especially when a team is really really young. You need a guy who's not necessarily a star player, but a good veteran to could
Hmm.
just like talk to a certain level of players, talk to coaches. Tobias is very loved by a lot of coaching staffs in the league. I know that for sure. So he kind of just keeps positive, he just keeps the vibes and energy good in the locker room. So he's good for that. Do we
I
need
Okay.
mean,
that in Miami necessarily? No. We got Kevin Love. He, we don't need any more veterans. Um,
I
man.
mean Tobias. Like, what do you want out of Tobias, Vens?
Oh well, you don't really.
I mean,
Good.
What do you
You don't
expect out of
have
Tobias? Like, what was the expectation trade up for him? I wasn't really paying attention to Tobias
like a
here being
fourth
traded.
so
This.
right now, huh?
He's on
fourth
my
option.
fantasy. That's why I'm asking. I mean, he's averaging 13 points,
Hmm.
6 rebounds,
Yeah,
almost 3 assists,
yeah.
one
Just
steal, one block a game almost. I mean, that's
Do you,
down on average. So maybe they were expecting what he was doing in Philly last year. He was averaging 17 and then similar
not
stats.
even that. Do you see his contract?
Oh, you got a crazy contract?
it's
Oh yeah.
nasty. It's real
It's
Oh
nasty.
nasty.
yeah.
His agent should be going in the basketball Hall of Fame for that alone.
Of agent, yeah. Rich Paul ain't got nothing on his agent.
Man,
I
it's a
mean, is it nasty by like the new style contract
no. It
terms,
was
or is it
nasty.
Mm.
Man.
nasty?
It
Because
was
everybody's
nasty.
getting a crazy contract right now. Like that's because
No.
the money's coming into the NBA
Uh,
different.
I think Tobias and Paul George are the craziest contract out there.
Paul George is an insane contract for his output,
Yep.
and I don't even feel like I could like talk junk about it because I probably would have fell for it because he actually was nice. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I can't, you know what I'm saying? I would have fell for it. I would have paid him expecting something, some Paul Georgian too, but he's not even Paul George right now. He's
Mm-mm.
Paul George. He's Paul Georgia, or I don't know what you call
Damn
him.
McKee.
So Tobias is as a contract of a 2 year, 52 million for the Pistons.
Two
That's
years,
respectful.
So
52.
2 years,
25,
52 million.
he's about to make 26 million this year.
Yeah. I mean,
That's a
yeah,
nasty contract for Tobias Harris specifically. That's a
Yeah,
nasty
that's
contract.
that's
yeah,
massive for him. For 13 points, 26 million. I don't think Reeves is making 26 million.
yeah.
Reeves is
No.
due for something crazy at the end of the
Yeah,
season.
Reeves is due for something crazy, but Reeves is better. Reeves is better than Tobias right now.
Mm, yeah, I would say so. I mean, I like to compare people in their
They're
positions.
yeah, their position. So
It's hard for me to say,
Tobias
Reeves
is
is better
a
than
power
Tobias. I
forward.
mean, what's Tobias there to do? Reeves is not getting 7 rebounds a game.
Tobias, I feel
You know what I'm
I,
saying?
I might be wrong. I might
I
be
mean,
on.
what
Tobias is
will
a
I
Bobby
say?
Portis.
Is what?
Tobias, Tobias is a Bobby Portis. These are the guys that I'm comparing to Tobias Harris.
Right.
Bobby
Yeah, yeah,
Portis.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Kevin
mm,
Love kind of.
not even Bobby Portis. There's the power forward in Dallas. I'm blanking on the name. It's not
What's
Dan.
guy?
Um,
Cunningham and
lively,
Lively.
lively.
Mm-mm. He plays center.
Oh,
Comes off the bench for him. How am I forgetting his name?
I think I know who you're talking about, but the name is missing.
It's not
Hold on,
Daniel
I'm sorry.
Gafford because Daniel Gafford's a big. He's a center.
I mean, I guess
No,
what you're
not
saying
not.
is Tobias is like Portis in a sense that he's in that age group. He's in
Hmm.
that phase.
Yeah.
He should
I'm
have a
sorry.
contract like that. He's that type of utilization.
Yep. But you
You know
just
what I'm
get fourth
saying?
option occasionally, spread the floor with your shooting, grab a couple boards.
Yeah, it's not like you're paying him a lot of money because he's going to grow into even better production. He's actually just going to be that production for
He's
a
on his
while.
way down, actually. I feel
Yeah.
like his best years
So
are beyond
Yeah.
him.
one thing I feel like, um, just to like quick thinking when it comes to like sports contracts, I don't like to tell people like you don't earn your money or whatever because people can come to me and say I don't earn my money all the time, especially when I'm BSing at work.
It's
Yeah.
But
Tobias.
but I feel like it gets to a point where the money kind of paralyzes the sport. And quick switch back to soccer. When you think about that Arab money, man, look at Neymar. This guy had a lot of football in him, and he went to Saudi Arabia for a bunch of millions.
Hmm.
And now we were having a debate that will he be able to carry a team to the World Cup in 2026 because that level of football that they have over there in Saudi Arabia is not that level of the European football.
Right.
So I feel like because there's another Brazilian player that comes to mind, and Ludney, you probably don't know him. Ali, you too. Oscar. His name was Oscar. He was playing for Chelsea.
Hmm.
And he will be the first to tell you. He had an interview where he said that people are always telling me I had great potential to be like one of the greats. He was being compared to Kaká. And he was like, but when I look at my family being still in the favelas and Saudi Arabia had offered me that level of money, I chose family first. I chose my family financial safety first. I don't care about a career. I don't play for Brazil. I played in a World Cup, although we didn't win. But yo, my resume is pretty good. Now I went after my money. So I feel like sometimes that level of money kind of I mean that's like my opinion, paralyzes the sport in a little bit.
I agree.
Because
I would agree.
if you think about it, you give a guy like Tobias or 52 mil in 2 years. And there's a bunch of great, like solid, decent player in the G League that you can get for like 10 mil for 2 years, and that will give you his numbers.
Yes, yes, exactly why it's highway robbery.
Yeah.
It's
So
thievery.
I mean,
I
to
mean
your,
that
I was gonna say to your
go
point about like money paralyzing stuff. Man, there's a lot to be said, but there's a deeper conversation with that. But there's a lot to be said about when how much money is enough, right?
mm,
And what got you to the level you're at, right? And what are your
hmm
motivations, right?
true,
So
true.
whenever I think about what you're bringing up makes me think about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Tom Brady. When you think about like the elite and the greatest of all great,
Hmm
like money wasn't like the motivator by any means. It seems like it's ingrained in them that there's something else they want for
Mhm.
fulfillment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To be called the
Yeah, the money
greatest.
money comes after,
Yeah,
like,
the money is after it for them because being the greatest is something they've been experiencing for a very long time, or deemed one of the elite is a very, very long time. It's all about fulfilling that title with accolades and getting to etch your name on those levels next to the other greatest, right? So I say all that to say, how many the average player today, what are their motivations based on their path to getting to where they're at right now?
I
I
could
think the
tell you.
average player today, you get them a contract like that, they're not going to show up to practice. They're not going to practice as hard. They're not going to fight as hard because they're not in it to be LeBron or Jordan or Kobe. They're just in it because I'm here and I got my check. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
yeah,
like
yeah.
how many people
Yeah, I got
have
the
that?
perfect
Again,
answer
we're
for
talking
you.
about having that dog. Like how many people have that dog where they're that manic about being the best? Most people want to catch a lick to you know what I'm saying, to
And then
get
they
that
hmm
check.
out.
hmm
This is thing you could say the same thing about music. I'm into music, right? Like
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we
in
are.
in hip hop, most people are rapping to catch a lick, to
Hmm
get that contract and get paid. They're not
Get
rapping.
that Waka Flocka situation.
Yeah, they're not
One
rapping
hit,
to be the
and then I'm
best
going
rapper or the
invest.
best MC ever. You know what I'm saying? There's only a few
Yeah,
people actually doing that, right? That's the Kendrick Lamar versus Drake kind of, you know what I'm saying? They're not rapping for the culture to be the greatest in the culture to have positive impact on the culture. They're rapping to be the biggest in business success. So that dynamic right there is just a real world dynamic that you're never going to get rid of. And now that some big, big money came into the NBA, it's going to show you the true who's motivated and who's not. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Jimmy Butler
Speaking of
on the
motivation,
Timberwolves talking junk to Cat and
Cat
who else was on the Timberwolves at the time?
Wiggins,
Yeah.
Wiggins, Cat,
Wiggins.
Wiggins, yeah, Wiggins, right? Like this is the separation. Like y'all here to BS or y'all here to, you know what I'm saying? You already got the check. You're already good. You're already making millions. So who are you really? Like what are you here to
yeah,
do?
yeah.
For real? You know what I'm saying? And man, I would tell you today's culture as a whole, like I don't think these people are built. I don't think these people like Jordan, like Kobe, like Jimmy Butler's dog, even Patrick Beverly's like maniacal. Name you could find those guys. They may not have the talent, but they're still maniacal, right? You know what I'm saying? Even Dylan Brooks, as much as people want to talk junk about him, I like that he's just maniacal about whatever he is maniacal about. You
Mhm.
need that. I like that energy in sports. You know what I'm saying? That's what you know what I'm saying? We get around the TV to watch. Like we need that mania, that
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 dog,
passion
yeah.
about the game. And
No.
on average, I think the passion is low. So
It is very low, and it makes me worry, man. As a fan of the sport, who's next? I don't see who's next. It makes me worry a lot.
oh, back
Like,
to Wembanyama. You think he got that level of passion?
it's hard to say.
Ali says yes. I don't see it on him. I think he
You
does,
know
but I don't
why?
He
see it
be
on
he be
him.
he be talking shit on the court,
So
He like a
we
Tim. I don't
had
know because he's wearing a Spurs uniform. He got that
especially with
Tim
the
Duncan
Spurs.
passion. Like he just be talking junk and just
He
hit you
be
with
talking.
the
He be
bank hook, and then
talking.
walk away stoic.
He told
Like
Russell Westbrook to go for the ball because he couldn't touch his head. He be talking.
he be talking.
He be
okay.
talking.
That's good to know.
I'm gonna
Because
say on top of that.
I was gonna tell you, I had that discussion with my best friend where we were saying, yo, we have a bunch of new guys coming into the league. A lot of them are European players, and when you look at the European player, they don't have the swagger. Besides Luca, they don't have the swagger of like a LeBron or Anthony Edwards. They don't have the swagger of a KD. Although KD is a very passive guy, but my best friend is a KD fan. That's I don't know why, but it's like yo, it worries him where you thinking where this game is going. As you're watching as a fan, because I grew up on AI, man. I was an AI fan. I love AI. I used to watch AI crossover and try to do it on the court when I was playing. And then I got into LeBron. Thank God he carried me to 3 decades. And well, 2 decades, I'm saying 2 decades. And now I'm like, yo, Braun is going. Who I got next? I'm looking at Ant-Man. I'm looking at Luca, and I'm like, yo, it's either one of those two. Like, but how can I choose? Like, it worries me honestly because
Yeah, the product is and again, it's just the
yeah,
overall field, right? The overall field don't seem to have that passion, bro. I mean, not to be the old guy on the podcast, right? But when I watched in the 80s, whoever it was that was sticking Jordan, he was trying his hardest to give Jordan a hard ass time. And that
yeah.
made it fun, right? Like that made it fun to watch. Whoever that night was sticking Jordan or whoever was on the other team, like they did not like that this dude was in my
Hmm.
house about to punk me. Like they didn't allow that, right? Today, this is where the old guys get, annoyed with people like wanting to play with each other and shaking hands and swapping jerseys. Like the
So
whole
we
attitude
had that
behind competition is like is switched up. You know what I'm
down.
saying? It's softened up, and it's creating. So the kids are watching that, and that's what it is. And then now it's like feeding itself, and then now the crop of people, to me, they don't have that like edge. The other thing, which is a longer conversation. These guys played more time in college, and I'm all for not playing in college, but it created a more of a narrative and a story. When you watch Chris Webber go through the Michigan story and have his rivals there and have the back and forth there, and then that got transferred into the NBA, it built up this equity of like, this drama there to enjoy
Rivalry.
NBA. Like there was a whole saga that continued in stages. And the NBA doesn't have that anymore because they go straight to the NBA. So these kids don't have they don't build up a story or a rivalry and then college basketball was pure. You weren't getting paid. You just was doing it to win the chip. That's where they almost built you know what I'm saying? Like the work ethic and the fight, right? Like so there's
Hmm.
when it comes to the culture and the competitiveness, I feel like everything that built that up is gone now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the system of building that up doesn't even exist anymore. And so we're gonna have what we have, right? Who's next?
Hmm.
You only got like a few people that have that dog. I would say you didn't say John Morant. That's my guy. I think he got a dog in him. You know what I'm saying? Um,
I do, but
Jalen Green. I like
I hope
Jalen
it
Green's game.
stops.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
like
He's a
Jalen
dog.
Green?
I think he got no.
I knew that.
I think he got a dog in him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's pushing. Who else? You said Luca. Um, but even if you name all of them, right? The average defender is not a dog trying to stop him that night. The average guy in the NBA is, you know what I'm saying? It's not there, bro.
So I was gonna tell you earlier that we had that argument on the podcast, Ali and I, and we were like we were on opposite sides where I told him I feel like um the reason why that level of competitiveness lowered is because they are too friendly with each other, in my
Mhm.
opinion. And Ali had a great rebuttal saying that they were friends in the 80s too. Because Jordan will play Barkley and then they will go out to dinner. It's just we did not have access to social media to have access to the players. But one thing I told them was I saw what's his name? Who went singing on the three-point list again Ali and I forgot his name and Curry and him just swapped jerseys like in the middle of a game. Not swap jersey, but Curry was like, "Oh, congratulations," and hugged him in the middle of a game that I'm playing against you. You could have saved all that for
What are you
later.
talking about, James Harden?
James Harden, yeah. You could have saved all that for later. It did not have to be like right here on the field, on the court,
Mhm.
in the middle of the game at the moment
Dave
where it
Thomas kissed
passed.
Magic Johnson on the cheek before they started their finals game. I'm not hearing none of this, the competition lowered talk at all.
You
I'm
don't
not
believe
hearing.
you don't think the competition lower, bro?
Nope. I just
Oh well,
watched one of the
Ali
Thompson
blames
twins
the
throw Tyler
referees.
Hero to the ground just because he got 30 dropped on him. I'm not hearing
I
none of
love
this
that.
talk.
I love
Nope.
that. I
Not
mean,
hearing it.
damn. So you don't
Not
think the
hearing it.
competition low? I would say for sure it has, but you don't think it has. I'm
Nope.
trying to see it from your
He blames
shoes,
the
like,
referees.
huh?
Nope. I blame the referees
He
because every
blames
time
the
something good
referees.
happens, the players aren't allowed to express themselves. Every time something happens, you get a text
Facts.
for taunting,
I think that's a
you get a
that's a I
text
think
for
that's a true.
staring, you
I
get
think
a
that's true.
text for making like a celebration after a shot, you get a text for you're not allowed to express yourself on the
Yeah,
court.
the game is sterilized because they're trying to avoid another Malice at the Palace situation
Yep.
or anything like that or whatever. No,
Mhm.
I can agree with that, but honestly, I'll refer back to that whole college journey. I think that's part of it. I
That
think
is part
you
of
hear
it.
NBA players talking about AAU culture. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
kids are getting treated
AU
like
culture is another.
stars. You know what I'm saying? They're getting treated like stars way too early, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, to build that type of persona as they mature and go through everything. I think the system of competitiveness is a bit broken. I think not allowing the hand check and the hard defense,
Mhm.
so to take away the physicality, I think competitiveness and physicality correlate. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like when
Hmm.
somebody,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying, it
Hmm.
imposes on you, you want to impose back, right? Like I think it's death by a thousand cuts, man. I would say it's definitely lower. Like I can't see
Yeah.
it. There's no way I can see it the competitiveness being the same level. I think it's definitely lower. But I mean, hey, I mean, when you say they were friends, the whole time in the '80s and stuff, I think that was still true. But I think it was just a mantra of on the field, on the court. You know what I'm saying? Like we cool. You know what it is? I'll give you the perfect example. If you're a hip hop head, when Kendrick dropped the control verse, right?
I
When
was
you remember that control
Hmm.
record,
I was
Hmm.
right? Like I'm trying to be. He said, yeah, I'm cool. Yeah, I love y'all, but I'm trying to murder you,
Yep.
right? Who
Yeah.
got offended? Not to make this a Kendrick Drake thing because everybody's talking about this. Who got offended? Drake. I feel like that Kendrick
Drake is very
mentality,
sensitive.
huh?
Drake is very sensitive.
But that I feel like today's NBA is like Drake. Like they nice, they dope. You know what I'm saying? But they're not in it for the same things that the previous NBA because the whole era is set up different. The game's set up differently. The motivations, the money is different.
Mhm.
And I feel like Kendrick's spirit in terms of like, yeah, we could be cool, but nah, like I am literally in here like gladiator school to be the best,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Like let's
Mhm.
go out for drinks, let's chill, let's talk about investments, let's build a production company outside of, we're doing. But when I'm on this record, when I'm on this field, when I'm here in a competitive space with you, it's like an MMA fight.
That's why
You know what I'm
that's why I
saying?
wanted to see.
Like that's it. Like we here
That's
to
great. That's
hurt.
Draymond and LeBron.
Draymond and LeBron. I don't even think LeBron has enough of that dog in him, honestly, to
He
be honest.
doesn't. He doesn't.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
this
So
is what I
I
was
think he was
telling
like kind of
Ali.
like the poster
I
child of
disagree.
not having the dog in you,
I'm
still
outnumbered
being
here. I
great.
disagree.
I was so this is how the discussion started. I told Ali I blame LeBron
You blame
because
LeBron. I disagree.
anybody who came up, LeBron will tweet, he got next, young king. He got next, young king. Bro, finally, who's that young king? You got 20 young king playing on the NBA right now. And you
Hey,
come
he ain't
on.
say young king. Him acknowledging players is something other people have done in the past, way
Yeah.
before. Kobe did it. Shaq did it. Shaq literally gave Paul Pierce his nickname, the Truth. Again, I am not hearing it. I am not hearing it. Y'all not about to sit here and gaslight me and tell me it's because LeBron that the competitiveness of the league went
I know
down.
I don't put it all
Me,
on
I blame
LeBron. I just feel
I'm
LeBron.
like
talking
he
about
Me, I
Vince
blame
invested.
LeBron.
specifically.
Well, I'll
It's
take
not
Ludney does.
LeBron.
I
LeBron been
think
playing in the league 20 years. He
yeah,
does talk. He talks that talk. He been in the league since '03, the
yeah.
early 2000s era. We're not gonna sit here and say it's because of LeBron that the competitiveness went down. That's not
No,
true.
I'm
That's
not
just
gonna say
not true.
all that, but what I
That's
will tell
just
you
not true.
is he is um he is that like
Part of it.
I'm really good and I can beat all y'all, but let's be cool and like work against the league energy and like kumbaya ish. And he's like the brand ambassador of that, which I didn't see that would be a factor in turning everybody else's competitiveness down
I bet you
somehow.
know. Yeah.
It's not his fault. Like I like LeBron's
What
approach
did
to the
that first
game.
to do with one of the Moses Malone and then went to go join Charles Barkley in Philly back in the day? We're not doing this. I
Yeah,
swear, we're
but
not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not
more
doing
so,
Yo,
what? If you want to
but
talk about like whose fault it is, if you were to put it on somebody's shoulders, which is an unfair conversation, but I'll entertain it just to entertain it. KD going to the Warriors, bro. Like that
okay.
right there, bro, was like
That's
sacrilege.
one. That's a major one.
That was bad, bro.
this.
Like what
That's a
LeBron
major
did
one.
wasn't bad. Like LeBron didn't do anything on that level. You know what I'm saying?
That's a major one.
That was a no.
Yeah, that's a
Ali,
major
what you
one.
got to say to that? That was fine.
No,
Nah, he
no.
That
He
doesn't
wasn't
joined the
fine,
team.
respect
right?
KD for
He
that.
joined the team. He joined the team that beat him. That's not what. Forget about Kevin Durant. He's dealing with the little thing. Competitiveness in the league is you want to say it's lowered? Fine. Is it gone? No,
It's not gone, but
it's not
it's
gone.
lowered to a point where
Start of the
it's
season, I had
hurting
to
the
watch a
sport.
bench player and Dante DiVincenzo cuss out the entire Knicks bench and Jalen Brunson's dad just because of what went down in New
I love
York.
that.
I
I
had to.
love it. I love it.
It's
But you're
gone.
talking about flashes in the pan, right? Whereas this
Yeah,
was like the
yeah.
norm.
Not
Like
every game, and I wholeheartedly that every game. I wasn't live then, but I disagree wholeheartedly to think that every game in the '80s was just, oh yeah, we're gonna fight, we're gonna do this, we want to
Not
kill it.
fight.
no, it's
Nah,
just the attitude was more evident in the game. The attitude was like
Yes.
on display. Not every fight, not that they were fighting every game or blah blah blah, whatever, but the attitude was present in the game. And today's attitude is a little bit more kumbaya, is a little bit more, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
some players get into
Okay.
scuffles, they don't like each other. But typically when they get into that, it's that one lone dog. Like if you were to count how many dogs there are in the league today versus how many dogs, almost everybody was a dog. I'm not even talking about 80s,
Br-
Ali. I'm talking about like AI's era. Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
we got
Like
we got we got a couple of them here
you talk
today.
about those
Nice.
average players. You could talk about like Jermaine O'Neal. You know what I'm saying? You could talk about like just the average like fifth man, sixth man coming out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's still a dog. Still a
yeah.
dog.
We still, I'm telling you.
Today, I don't see that, bro.
Players just not trying
But
to get suspended. I'm gonna tell you right now, not to just to make the ultimate switch to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler got suspended for 7 games. He's about to lose $3 million.
Yeah.
7-game suspension. Players not trying to get no fights and not trying to go, like have that dog in
But
them.
them.
I hear
why he
It's
that.
got
I hear that.
suspended for
they
That's
gonna
7
give
days?
limited
him
to
my
It's
green
seven
suspension.
money.
day. It's 7 games. Isn't it the team that suspended him?
That's the team that's suspending him, but
The team
that's
suspended
money
him
he's losing. That's
For
three
what? For
million.
what they suspended him?
for
Com-
putting out their
behavior
disputes
detrimental to the
on,
team.
yeah, putting the disputes out on the media.
Behavior detrimental to the team.
That's Pat Riley being Pat Riley.
He
Come
was
on,
doing the thing with his hair. He was like saying stuff to the media. That's a yeah. So that whole
bro. That's Pat Riley hurting Jimmy because Jimmy asked for a trade. I
that
believe that.
that's Pat Riley being. You know what, man. What? Fine. Let's talk about
Let's get into Ali's rent.
it.
Finally,
Oh,
we had the heat.
where do I begin? So last night
Where do you
I'm
begin?
celebrating my brother Stanley's birthday. He turned 24. You know, we're out, we're eating. One of the guys, he's a Bulls fan because it was also D Rose night. So he's a Bulls fan. He's like, "Oh, the game is on. I heard you guys are playing the Utah Jazz without Jimmy." I'm like, "Shut up. I'm not here to care about the game. I'm just here to eat and enjoy my brother's birthday." The guy keeps pulling up the scoreboard. End of the game, end of the night is over. I see we lose by 36. How?
Mm,
How?
mm,
We have a star in Bam Adebayo. How are we losing by 36 to Utah? How? How? It's like it's not even about Jimmy. Jimmy's 35. Jimmy should not be like our leading scorer. He shouldn't be our leading anything. He's clearly on the way out. We just got to get Jimmy to the playoffs and have playoff Jimmy. That's what he was supposed to be there for. Jimmy's frustrations, I understand them because for 3 seasons now, he was asking for another start. He was asking for roster improvements. He was asking Pat Riley, "Hey, go get Dame, go get Donovan Mitchell, go get somebody." He went
facts.
to go get Donovan Mitchell. Pat Riley's he ruined that trade. He was offering scraps for Donovan Mitchell, and Cleveland ended up getting Donovan Mitchell for nothing.
Mm,
For nothing. Then we go to get Dame. Dame, he wants to be a part of the Miami Heat. He likes us. He likes what we're about. He likes Heat culture. He wants to be here. He wants a chance at a chip. He ruins that trade. Why? Because he doesn't want to offer up what he needs to offer up in order to get Dame. What are we doing? Why is Duncan Robinson still on the freaking roster? Tyler Hero right now is averaging 4 3-point shots made for the season. That's the most
Mm,
by a Miami Heat player all time in our history
all
as a fan.
time.
Duncan Robinson was a player that was undrafted that we brought up solely because he could shoot. He's not playing. He
mm.
can't defend. Why is he still on the roster?
Okay.
We just signed another undrafted point guard in Drew Smith. That the Drew Smith project. Miami Heat fans know what I'm talking about. The Drew Smith
Mm.
project, right? Scrappy defender, 3-and-D guy, can run the ball. He just tore his ACL in that start of the season. We have nothing. We have nothing. And now I gotta wake up to Shams notifications talking about some Jimmy's talking to the Suns, trying to make a trade for Bradley Beal, even though Bradley Beal's got a freaking no trade clause. And then and then,
Don't do it.
oh my goodness, when I can't even.
But you might get something good for Jimmy, bro. Though I mean,
No, he's 35. That's another thing. Like we have to stop
still a
because
dog.
I've been
Still
seeing
a
trade
dog.
packages for Jimmy Butler that have been what's the word asinine, crazy, just make believe stuff where they're like, we want this player, that player, and 2 first round picks. He's 35.
Right.
But he's still a dog, bro.
I, he's a
Jimmy
dog
will give
with
any team he goes
arthritis.
to 2 solid
He's
seasons.
35. We're not
Bro,
doing
he's an old
Jimmy.
dog with fleas, bro.
He's 35. It's over. Like his value is only gonna go down because he can't give you the same amount of games he used to. He keeps tweaking his ankle, tweaking his knee inflammation. You can't be talking about we want 2 first round picks, we want Dorian Finney-Smith or Daniel Gafford or some pivotal role player from your team and 2 first round picks. You're not gonna get that.
Get
It's
picks for him and then rebuild next year.
No, I don't. I'm
That's
done.
what I'll say.
I can't take another. We shouldn't be talking about rebuilding if we have Bam Adebayo on the roster. I can't.
You and Bam, bro. You and Bam.
I want him gone.
I
I
I
want him
feel like I'm
gone.
gonna set up like I have a friend who want to set up fights, like boxing fights. I think I'm gonna put you in a corner and Bam in another one.
You could do
Just to
whatever.
let you.
Bam will whoop my ass. I don't care. Bam could whoop my ass, and I'll still get back up and say, "I want you out of here." I was done with the Bam Adebayo project 2 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago, everybody was looking at me crazy when I was like, Bam cannot be a star. We have to beg him to score more than 20 points a game. Every time he scores 23 points a game, we start clapping. We're like, oh my God, look at our star. He's not our star. He's not a star. He's not a first option. He's not even a good second option.
Yeah.
He's not even a good second option. When the real first option and Jimmy Butler goes down, why are we losing by 36 to Utah? Why?
That's wild.
And you're
Who
supposed
will
to
you
be
want for Bam though? Who
you're
will you
supposed
want
to
for
be a
Bam?
defensive player of the year candidate. Why are we losing by 36? Why are you an undersized big playing center? Why do we draft a center and not move you to the 4?
Does your center have playing time? I don't think he's playing
He,
that
he's,
much
he's, he
though.
gets spot minutes here and there, and he plays great because he's a good big. He's what we need. He grabs boards. He defends the paint. He has a jumper. Literally move Bam. I've been hearing talks about Bam being this playmaking big. Playmake. Do something.
There's a lot going.
I
There's a
think
lot.
Bam is a
A lot going on
playmaking
here.
big
That was his
Bam.
thing because we used to run an option with Bam, Tyler Hero, and Duncan Robinson, where Bam would catch the ball at the top of the key, look like a big man, and he would do a handoff to Tyler Hero or a handoff to Duncan Robinson, center screen, and Duncan Robinson gets a wide open 3. Duncan Robinson's not getting minutes. Tyler Hero's on a solo squad all-star candidate run, and Bam Adebayo's got it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the relationship he's got with Aja Wilson. I don't know why. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm done.
I would
I'm done.
there's a lot there in Miami. What I would say just in terms of like Miami, because hearing
I
all
don't
this,
blame
it's
Jimmy
actually
Butler.
interesting to hear a Miami Heat fan like, and I know a few Miami Heat fans. It's interesting to hear what they're going through, right? Like from like when you really pay attention to the team. And I never paid that
Yeah.
much attention to Miami, but all he's saying would piss me off too. Actually, because when I really think about it, I'm like, wow, like there's no reason why a city like Miami in Florida, where they have the tax benefits, wouldn't be a draw for a real
for a, for
a
a star.
real star.
For a real star.
Now, if Jimmy
Bro.
Butler was never the real star, I think he's
Yes, he
always been
was.
in essence like over appraised because he has that brand of being playoff Jimmy. Like
Yeah.
I think he was slightly overappraised. When he was good, he was really good, but he
No.
was
Mm-hmm.
over. I think he was overappraised. And then you
Nah, I
got
gotta defend Jimmy Butler.
Bam. What's
Jimmy
that?
Butler's a franchise leader in triple doubles.
You say
Jimmy
now we
Butler's
gotta
like Jimmy.
defend Jimmy.
Now I gotta defend Jimmy Butler.
Nah,
Jimmy
I mean
Butler.
Jimmy Butler was good, but bro, like at his peak, was Jimmy Butler really supposed to be the number one guy at
Yes.
his peak?
Yes.
Yeah,
He got
You
him.
think
yeah.
so?
It since
He was
Chicago.
in the Bulls.
Since Chicago, he took over
Since
the
Chicago
mantle
he
when Derrick
was.
Rose got sent to New York. We're not going. I swear, we're not doing this. We are not doing.
I don't think
Jimmy
he ever was a number one to me. I think on a championship team,
He
Jimmy
was.
was a
Butler
number
is
one with
maybe co
Chicago.
co co co-starring at the as far as that
He was
option, but I think he's a number two on
he
your on
was
a championship
clearly
team.
number one in Minnesota. When he got
He
there, they
was.
finally
Oh no
saw a
no no! I'm
play.
not saying he wasn't number one. I'm saying if you're gonna build
Oh, to have the
a
caliber
championship
to be a
team,
number.
so if you're
Okay.
gonna build a championship team, Jimmy Butler is one of those dudes that could be the first option on a championship team.
Yes,
I
yes.
think he
He
can.
won. He
On
won,
his
he won the
peak, yes, I think he can.
If
yes.
he is,
We
if I'm
saw
not
it.
gonna disrespect him, I'm not gonna
We
disrespect him.
saw it.
If he is on that list, he's not top five, top 10 on that list. You know what I'm saying?
That's not
Like
that's not
he's
that's not
fringe
a
on
crazy
that
thing to
list.
say.
Possibly.
He was
Possibly.
drafted 30th in the first round. Jimmy Butler, by all metrics, Jimmy Butler for his career overachieved. Yes, because he was drafted
Yes.
30th in the first round.
Facts.
He overachieved. I'm
Facts.
not disputing that. But Jimmy Butler is a guy you can win a championship because what have you two been saying? We need the guy with that dog in him. Jimmy Butler is pure dog. He's
Okay,
Dog.
so
pure
Yeah. Pure
dog.
dog.
if I'm in the school
Yeah.
of Ali and believing in Jimmy Butler like that, then you're kind of making the counter argument to them asking so much for Jimmy Butler, which is they're in the
No,
spell of
not
believing in
even.
Jimmy.
But like,
No,
see,
but you're
this is
saying
beautiful.
Jimmy's past his prime.
This is
So Jimmy
beautiful.
now is not nowhere close to this, right?
I'm gonna circle it all back for you.
Okay.
The
Okay.
reason Jimmy Butler wants out in the first place is because because this is the same thing that happened with D Wade. The reason Jimmy Butler wants out in the first place is because you're not going to build a team around me for me to win. On top of that, you're not giving me an extension. Why do I want to be here? You're telling me through you not giving me the extension that you don't trust in me to be who I am for this team. That's one. And two, you're not reinforcing my trust in you as a team because you're not doing anything to make the team better. So I went out. As a result of that, Miami is going to try to play the angle of him being old, injury prone in order to get, to ship him out of here and like have reasons to ship him out of here, even though they want to prop him up as this great player, so to get as much bang for their buck.
Counterintuitive, like I'm trying to get everything for him, but he devaluing him. And
it is the same thing to D Wade. D Wade had spent, what was it at that point, 13 years with the franchise, and he had sacrificed some of his money in order to make the team better. Hence why we got LeBron, Bosh, and da-da-da-da. Then we pay Bosh, we pay, I believe it's Whiteside or Bam, one of the two. And D Wade is like, hey, I've sacrificed enough for the franchise.
It's time y'all pay me for what I did. Yeah,
reimburse me for what I've done for you. And Pat Riley, great. It's been in Pat we trust for the longest time, but I don't trust in Pat anymore because Pat Riley let D Wade walk out the door, and D Wade had 2 great years in Chicago.
Right.
2 amazing years in Chicago.
But you got to look at the scope of the business. Like,
and I say that to say that Jimmy Butler at this point in his career is where D Wade was at that point in his career. Without the hey, I did so much for you guys. But that's the thing, he did. In the time that Jimmy Butler was with us, he became our franchise leader in so many things. In those playoff runs where he got the name Playoff Jimmy, he became literally a pivotal, legendary player for the Miami Heat franchise. I can't stress this enough.
But that did not yield an actual championship.
It didn't yield an actual championship because our team was never good enough to be where it was.
I got you. It's what
Jimmy
with Pat Riley, it's just is at that point with Jimmy, like there's a better case for Pat Riley being an asshole for D Wade than there is for Jimmy, because D Wade, he checked the box, like he got the championships, he coughed up the money to get the people in there. Jimmy, as great as he is, did not actually the deliverables weren't delivered, so there's no real like on paper you did this, so I owe you. And on the side of Jimmy, everything you said is on the point, like on point. I think they just need to part ways. Just facts. They just need to part ways. Like everything adds up to this is just not it.
Miami Heat jersey.
Yeah, they just need to part ways, bro. And they're not gonna get the farm for Jimmy Butler past his prime right now. They're just not.
But guys, I think we're gonna put an end to it here. We went over the hour mark. It was good conversation, great conversation. Ali, I'm sorry you're suffering, man. It will get better. Better days are ahead, believe.
Just one last thing. What's the so if they let go of Jimmy, what's the most realistic outcome that you would be somewhat happy with?
I want to fleece the Houston Rockets.
You want who?
I want to take.
Udoka's not letting that happen. They got too much good stuff going. Who are you gonna take from the Rockets right now?
I want give me Cam Whitmore, Fred VanVleet, and 1 first-round pick. Or if you don't want to give me Fred, give me Jabari. Give me Jabari, Cam Whitmore, and a first-round pick.
The 35-year-old Jimmy.
That's asking a lot, bro. You have to put something besides Jimmy.
That's two young players. One of them you're not developing. Another one is questioning why he's not getting in the minutes and a first-round pick.
And then so make that make sense for the Rockets.
Cam Whitmore's not going to rotate.
Make that make sense for the Rockets.
Better. The Rockets get better because they get another dog. You have Jimmy Butler.
Another dog that's hurt for a majority of the season, and if they make the playoffs, might make a difference.
To the playoffs. Get him to the playoffs.
Runs out of gas in the middle of the playoffs.
No, he doesn't. I think the last time we seen him, he ran out of gas, right? He got us to the promised land 2 times now.
Didn't he run out of
gas against Boston with knee inflammation? Should have been 3 times, but he missed a crazy game winner. Neither here nor there.
I don't know if
Get
that
just
makes
get
sense
him
for the
there.
Rockets, but that's in the
Just
path
get
of
him there.
viable. It's in the path
If
of
they
And him
add
viable.
some,
running out of
if they
gas,
add somebody that can make sense for the Rockets, they need to add somebody good, bro.
him running out of gas in the playoffs won't factor in for the Rockets because they already have other scoring pieces. It would literally turn the Rockets into the 76ers all over again, who are one shot away, mind you, from advancing.
Mm.
Mhm.
So I think it's good for everybody. We get Cam Whitmore, who's a bucket. Who if Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley don't give Cam Whitmore on the Miami Heat some minutes, I will lose all hope because Cam Whitmore shouldn't be in the G League because he's too good for the G League, and he should be on an NBA roster developing as a star. I feel like the NBA, you talk about who's next, who's next, who's next. The NBA has a problem where you get certain type of talent, like professional bucket getters, like a Cam Thomas. Professional bucket getters,
Yeah,
they're not given the green light, so they can't be a Cam Thomas, even though
yeah,
realistically,
that's a good
they
point.
either need to be a Cam Thomas or they need to be a franchise guy who's given the keys early.
Just to
There's
tie that back up to, and it's almost like we're doing a wrap up, tie it back up to the expansion piece. You expand enough, you give a person like a Cam Thomas a team to lead, right?
Some playtime, yeah.
So there's going to be like those players out there in the league.
Mhm.
There's a little bit more spots where I could be, the A guy, which gives you more personalities and celebrities to kind of find the face of the league, right? It gives you more space to develop that whole, more chiefs out there. You know what I'm saying? And then one of them would be the, the king.
We
So
could talk about this for hours, but I say all that to say it wasn't Jimmy's fault. Fed up with Pat Riley at this point, fed up with the team at this point, fed up with Bam
yeah,
at this point, throw the whole team away. If the season were to end today, I would not want to see Duncan Robinson on a roster. He should just go back to doing that podcast he started.
yeah.
And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the episode, let us know in the comments below. If you're rooting for a struggling NBA team, we could suffer together.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
comment, share,
Bro.
all of that fun stuff. You guys got any last remarks you want to say to the people? 'Cause I'm done. I
Man, listen, it's a new
I
year, guys. You know, stay on your grind, basically.
yeah
Yeah, yeah,
yeah
yeah. As for me, hey, I love talking ball with you guys. This is a great time. Appreciate you guys having me on. 2025, hopefully, sports this year, and hopefully nothing else too crazy in the world, and we could just enjoy some good sports this year. I love sports, so hopefully we can just enjoy it. Stay on your grind and enjoy life in
Yes,
2025.
sir.
sir.
All right.
Yes. All right, guys, it was a pleasure having you, especially you, Ludney, Ali. We'll link up. We have a lot of things to talk about, bro. I gotta call you later.
All right.
So we will set it up. All right. Everybody else, I'll catch you next Sunday. Have a blessed week. Have a good day. All right,
Peace.
guys. Peace.